Begin with the latest development from the PDP Secretariat in Abuja, where supporters of the Nyesom Wike-led faction of the People's Democratic Party have taken over Wadata Plaza. And youth, comprising women and youth groups, the protesters carried placards with inscriptions targeted at the PDP factional national chairman, Mr. Tanimu Turaki. Minister of FCT Nyesom Wike also arrived at the Wadata Plaza. It was a forceful attack for both parties to take over the Secretariat. Some journalists were attacked as police fired tear gas canisters. You recall that the Tanimu Turaki-led National Working Committee, elected at the controversial Ibadan National Convention, had scheduled its inaugural meeting with party stakeholders at 10 a.m. at the PDP National Secretariat. Also, the Abdurrahman-led faction of the NWC had summoned Emergency National Executive Committee and Board of Trustees meeting for 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. respectively at the same venue. Wike and Ayawu supporters at the scene booed PDP factional chairman, Governor of Bauchi State and Oyo State, as he briefed journalists.
Allowed us in our chairman president for impartiality, but here we are. We are here to sit in to see what will happen. Our property, we have been tear gassed as governors. We have been molested in spite of our immunity in time and whatever that we have as leaders in our own right with our chairman. Well, it is for the nation to gauge the kind of democracy we have, the kind of leadership that we have. I will advise the presidency that it should not keep people who are no longer useful in terms of managing the political space, managing our diversity, creating unity and governance.
We're privy to an information that people who have been expelled from our party are planning to come to our headquarters to disrupt our activities. And the Commissioner of Police, FCT, assured me upon his honor that they will do whatever is possible to protect us and guarantee us safe passage into our premises.
Now, senior correspondent Femi Akonde joins me on the news this hour. Femi, give us the latest update on this, again, latest crisis now rocking the People's Democratic Party.
Hi, Precious. I can't hear you well, but you know what is the latest here at the headquarters of the People's Democratic Party is that the standoff continues. We have been chased out of the headquarters of the People's Democratic Party. A lot of tear gas canisters fired by police to disperse the crowd that had gathered. And I must say, police fired directly at people. The reporter of Channels Television, Friday Okirigbe, was deliberately targeted and fired by police on his leg. A lot of journalists are fired. The cameraman of NTA was beaten up by a policeman and his camera destroyed or damaged. You know, a lot of these incidents happening around here. The police did not even differentiate between, you know, the normal party crowd or the thugs that have gathered around and between them and journalists. Even the governors had their own fair share because the whole atmosphere was polluted with tear gas. We saw Governor Sheyi Makinde's bloodied eye. We saw Governor Bala Mohammed. We also saw the national chairman of the PDP, you know, struggling to catch his breath after it was after going through that rigor of gaining access to the PDP National Secretariat. The minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, is also here at the Secretariat, but he's still in his car. He hasn't come down since he got here. Before he arrived, Sheyi Makinde, Bala Mohammed, and some others, that's the National Working Committee elected at the Ibadan Convention, arrived earlier, and they were able to temporarily displace Samuel Anyanwu and others with in the Wike faction before Wike came, and then there was reinforcement of both policemen and thugs. And at the end of the day, it appeared as if, you know, it was a case of no victor, no vanquish. None of them, as we speak now, has access to the headquarters. We're hearing that the police is planning to seal off the headquarters of the PDP National Secretariat here at the Wadata Plaza. But the police have been very poor in handling the crowd here, in the whole crowd control here. We have seen a height of indiscipline and unprofessionalism exhibited by, these policemen on duty. Even at a point where we as journalists ran to safety in a corner, we identified ourselves to the policemen, and they said, "What are you people doing there?" It'd be like, "So now one smoke, and they fired tear gas at us again." Even after identifying ourselves as journalists, and this is directly calling out the Inspector General of Police. This kind of incidents, should be able to be properly handled. A lot of people around here, businesses have lost a lot of revenue. Some of them had to carry their petty goods and everything and run for safety. A lot of malls around here have been shut down. The collateral damage is huge just because of something happening within the Wadata Plaza of PDP Secretariat. The police, in the poor way they handled it, had allowed it spill across the whole area, the whole of Zone 5 now at Wuse, where Wadata Plaza is situated, is right now very chaotic as we speak. Precious.
And Femi, quite disheartening to hear you narrate that. One would imagine that the first call of any security agent or a security agency is to de-escalate and not to escalate. And from what you have described, it looks like there was an escalation. But I also wanted to ask you if you know on whose invitation the police came to the scene.
Precious, I can't hear you. The
Femi,
connection is breaking.
Can you hear me now? All right, Femi.
Well, the policemen gave protection to both. Policemen gave protection to both camps. The Wike faction arrived with their own batch of policemen. The Tamino Turaki, Sheima Kinde, Bauchi Governor Bala Mohammed. Of course, these are governors, and they have policemen attached to them. They also arrived with their own battalion of policemen to the Wadata Plaza. And earlier, that was yesterday, Tamino Turaki was at the FCT Police Command, where he went to ask for police protection. He told them there that he will be assuming duty as the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party today, and he would need police protection. He got that assurance yesterday, but when he got here, it was a different ball game for him, and well, the rest is history. Well, where we go from here, it's what we do not know. We do not know if this standoff will be settled in the court, but it's likely that the police would take over the Wadata Plaza, seal off the whole place, deny access to both factions, the Wike faction and the Sheima Kinde and Bala Mohammed faction, until all of this is amicably resolved by the court. Let's not also forget that there are different court judgments pending, especially those that restrained the People's Democratic Party from going ahead with the National Convention. There was also another judgment by the Oyo State High Court, but the PDP chose to respect the judgment of the Oyo State High Court. I know there are also several debates about the presence of INEC at or absence of INEC at that convention, but all of that will be resolved in the coming days. Precious.
And I'm sure we'll be hearing from all sides as well in the coming days. Also, we're hoping to hear from the IGP on how the conduct of the police at the plaza. Thank you so much for that update. Senior Correspondent Femi Akonde.